Well, I was planning on making a different video today, but some news dropped. The Toronto Raptors are trading OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, and Malachi Flynn to the New York Knicks in exchange for RJ Barrett, Immanuel Quickley, and a second-round pick. OG Anunoby has been in trade rumors for years now, and he finally has been traded. And I want to talk about this trade for both sides, because I have a lot to say about this trade in terms of both teams involved. But quickly, before we go any further, if you're new and like basketball, I'd really appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell notified whenever I release a video. I make videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the two best ways can help me out in the YouTube algorithm, help support the channel, and help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the season. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. Anyways, let's talk about this trade. The Knicks acquire OG Anunoby, a player that will need to be re-signed as he's on an expiring contract. Now, OG isn't quite as good as a lot of NBA podcasters want you to believe, but he's a very good player regardless. He's the ideal 3-and-D wing, 6'8", 235 pounds with a 7'2" wingspan. Offensively, I really like his fit with this Knicks team. He's good at attacking the basket, 68.2% at the rim on 4 attempts per game. He's a good 3-point shooter as he shoots 37.4% on 6 attempts per night. And what makes him such a good fit is that he doesn't take away from Jalen Brunson or Julius Randle. 78.1% of his rim production is assisted on, and he shoots 38.8% from 3 in terms of catch and shoot looks, and he takes about 5.2 of them per game. Now, he's mainly a corner 3-point shooter, according to Clean the Glass. This season, he's shooting 44% on 2.6 corner attempts per game, and he's shooting 33% on 3.4 non-corner attempts per game. Offensively, he's not going to be a big-time creator for you, but he is a much better fit next to two-star players in Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle than what they had in RJ Barrett, because he doesn't need the basketball in his hands to be effective all the time. He's a 15 to 17 point per game scorer that's relatively efficient and plays well off his stars. And then you add what he brings defensively, where he's one of the best in the NBA. He's versatile, active on and off the ball, high feel, high motor. It's a pretty good player to have on a team that is looking to make a deep playoff run. In terms of the other two players they got, Pascal Siakam, he can be interesting as an athlete, but he's more of an idea than an actual player, and I don't really see it with Malachi Flynn. I don't hate this deal for the Knicks. They got a good player in return for a guy that really didn't fit well with this team, and a player that they were likely going to let walk in free agency anyways. But the thing is, I love this deal for the Raptors. The Raptors got RJ Barrett back in this deal, former top 3 pick, homecoming for him. He's from Toronto. He's a very hard player for me to get a feel for. I made a whole video talking about that if you want to check it out, because his talent and motor actually suggest that he should be a lot better than he actually has been. He had promising stretches in those first few games to start this season, but since then he's been pretty bad. 18th percentile true shooting percentage, 9th percentile rim efficiency, 35th percentile non-rim 2-point efficiency, 20th percentile 3-point efficiency. The idea of RJ Barrett is that he's a physical scoring wing with some passing chops, and he's flash potential of that player, but at best he's been up and down. For the Knicks to be able to move his contract for a better player and fit is good. But for the Raptors, I'm interested to see how he plays next to a guy like Scottie Barnes. But maybe a change of scenery playing for his hometown team could be what makes him put it all together. But he's not actually what makes me love this deal for the Raptors. The reason I love this deal for the Raptors is Immanuel Quickley. I'm shocked they got Immanuel Quickley in this deal. I thought they were going to get Quentin Grimes actually, and maybe throw in a first round pick instead of a second round pick. But I love the fact they got Quickley because he is a really good player. One of my favorite players in the NBA. He's an electric scoring guard that brings a ton of energy, but it's not like most players of his archetype that just catch fire and are inconsistent and bad on defense. He's somebody that is way more efficient than most players you think of when you watch his highlights, and he's also a solid passer. But where he brings a lot of value that doesn't get talked about a lot is defense. He's an elite defensive player. Should have made all defense last season. It's a crime that he didn't. One of the best defensive guards in the NBA. He's a high field defender on and off the ball with a great motor. He absorbs contact better than you would think. His energy and play style at the 1 or the 2 fits well with what the Raptors are trying to build. And he's only 24 years old, so he fits the timeline of what the Raptors are building. He's not someone you should expect to be this big time scorer, but he's pretty well rounded, doesn't have too many flaws, and someone that can be valuable on both ends of the floor as well as productive on the box score. I'll be interested to see what the Raptors trade Pascal Siakam for, because it's clear they should be building around Scottie Barnes. He's taken a massive leap this season. You'll get his size, the skill, the motor, the feel, and versatility, on top of significant improvement at such a young age, and it's hard not to build around him. He's a big wing forward that can attack the basket, has a good handle even if it's unconventional, has shown real growth as a creator and shooter, and is also a great playmaker. And defensively, he has the motor and tools to be great on that end of the floor. He's somebody I look at and see how talented he is, how much he's improved, and just the motor, and believe he can be a great player for a long time. And with his 3-point shooting improving the way it has, I think he's in the same tier of upside as Paulo, Chad, and Wemby as potential superstars. And I know that might sound crazy, but you'll get a 6'8" wing forward with long arms, is somebody that's versatile on both ends of the floor and has made significant strides at every stage of his career. And it's hard not to at least consider the idea that he might be in that group. I think he could put up some of the best all-around numbers in the NBA one day, and getting a guy like Quickley next to him is great. It's great in terms of a skill set fit because Quickley can play on and off the ball, and he really doesn't take away from Scottie. And also, they have very similar energy, passion, and motor as a player. And I can't wait to see how those two operate on both ends of the floor. Now, RJ is a weird fit because I'm a bit skeptical of how that works, but I do see a world where it can work out. But the reason I love this trade for the Raptors is because it signifies that they are building around Scottie, and they got a great guard to put next to him in Immanuel Quickley. And remember, this is just the start because they will get something in return for Pascal Siakam. The OG Anunoby trade finally happened, and I'm glad it did because the discourse around OG was getting annoying. I don't think this trade has a loser because 1, we have to see how it plays out, only time will tell. But secondly, I think both teams got what they wanted. For the Knicks, they got an upgrade over RJ Barrett that's a much better fit with their top 2 options. And for the Raptors, they got 2 young pieces to build around Scottie. One I really like, and the other I have questions about fit-wise, but he's still a talented player. I do lean towards the side of the Raptors in this trade because I think they got great value for an expiring contract, and I think it's more of a long-term move and really signifies something they should be doing for years now since they drafted Scottie and they're finally doing it. But I don't hate it for the Knicks either. They got a really good player that makes them a better team. But that's the end of this video. If you made it to this point, thank you so much. Again, haven't already, like, subscribe, hit notification bell, notify whenever I release a video. I make videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the 2 best ways you can help me out on the YouTube algorithm, help support the channel, Help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the season. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. Let me know your thoughts on the OG Anunoby trade. Who do you think won? Who do you think lost? What are you most excited about for this trade? How do you think the Knicks and the Raptors are going to do post-trade? I'll do all that down below. But with that being said, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.